Go live. Oh, I got to do that too. I forgot. Let's do that. Speech, chat, kill mute. YouTube is up there. That's good. Now let's go one more. That way I can see. Oh, it looks like I'm live already.
It's easy to be
Thank you for being there, whoever's there. We'll find out.
Formica brand capsule collection. It's a set of Formica products inspired by nature.
Nobody there yet. That's good.
From cabinets
I was about to say,
tables.
just enough to sigh of relief.
Formica.com.
And had to make sure that that wasn't feeding back into my head either. The live sounds, so I could see the live chat for the room. Thanks for being there. 4 guys are watching already. Wow, that is exciting. I just got here. I'm sorry that I'm late. Well, never late. I'm just live. Right? Right. And, oh, that might help. Show my live camera feed here so that I can at least look and show you what I got in my hands or whatever. This is what I was showing off yesterday was the Wizard oil lamp, which I think turned out pretty cool. And the fire came out of his hand quite nicely. I've also got something today that I'm going to try to fix up and do and fill it full of oil. It's I've got an elephant. We'll see how well that lights up and fires up today too. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Brian. Glad you're there.
Teresa Hamilton. Said. Hi. Brian Bonin.
I've been sitting here for the last little while working and making some more of the moon blue glass rods that I like doing, and really coming up with some nice color variation here that will work out real well in something when I finally put it to whatever, I don't know until it happens, but it makes good color anyway. And I need to probably run over to my other shed like real quick, but I forgot to do that before I started, of course, and get some green exotic and do the same thing with it. I've got one more little chunk, actually 2 little more chunks of the moon blue that I think I'll go ahead and continue working. That's one of the things you got to realize is that sometimes it's not all pretty stuff, but you got to do a lot of prep work sometimes. And getting the prep work done is more than half of the good things when you finally get to them. So let's light up the torch, and I'm going to do one more of the moon blue exotic here while you guys are watching. And if you have a question and have a request that you would like to see done, I will go ahead and try to do it. Yeah. Let's see here. There's the rod that I was going to use. Just layer some good clean, this time instead of encasing it with clear, all I'm going to do is just layer this blue exotic over the clear glass to give it a different effect entirely. More of the white swirls instead of the blue swirls on the other one. So it's your preference, basically. Four people, wow, real quick, that's good. I will continue to try to do live shows throughout the week. At the end of the week, though, I'm going to be a little bit busy. I'm going to go and see about getting some denture work done. So I might be able to get on here, and then I might be in a major amounts of pain, so I don't know if I'll be here or not come Thursday night. So think good thoughts about me Thursday and Friday for healing processes, I guess. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, just layering this color over this. rod. And again, this helps stretch your color, and also it helps to, I don't know, give you a different color that you would have gotten than you would just using the rod itself. Let's tilt this up a little bit that way. There we go. So do we have a request? Anybody want to see anything in particular being made? Something you might be interested in buying, I'll let you do that too. But you don't have to buy it if you don't like it. Just a challenge is more than half the fun. Okay, here we go. I've only got one 10 liter per minute concentrator going on. And I think it's going to be enough to do what I want to do here, so might get a little loud. It's a good thing I've got this microphone on so it's not as loud as it could be. Layer it on, nice and thick. And I'm heating up the rod in this hand. I'm not heating up per se. It is getting warm and getting so that it melts on quite nicely, but most of where the heat is going is right onto the rod that's in my right hand, layering it to my left hand. It's all in the timing and also the precision. I wouldn't say precision of it, but still heating it up like that, learning to draw the glass onto what you're working with is a art in itself. And I could do this all day long, and it's got to become second nature. You can't just concentrate and have it, but you got to think, oh, let's melt and let it happen. That's all. A couple more strands of this stuff, layering it right on in. That one should do the trick. The rest of it looks like it's covered. There we are. And here we go. Twisting like we did last summer. Twisting like we did again. Okay, now I'm going to do this rod, and then I want a suggestion from the audience, please. It would help. Something to do. Even if it's something that you've seen me do before, it's fine. I don't mind. It's just a matter of getting it out and showing you that you got to get to the point where you know, just like when you learn to write words on a page, you can do the same words over and over and get the consistency down. Twisting it away. Now you could do this back and forth like a, let's see if we,
octopus.
Okay. Thank you for the suggestion, and an octopus it shall be. At least somebody had that. What I'm doing on the bottom part of this is sort of swirling it back and forth, and you can do that with this as well, and you can see the results after the fact. It will, again, give you that wig-wag type pattern, but it'll be stretched out as well. So I will show you the differences of the top and the bottom that I have done here, and just as I pull it out. Now it's going to be stretched out into a rod. Octopus. 8 legs, right? Right. Can't have 6.5 legs, right? Gotta have 8, right? We'll see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get that done. Stretching it slowly but surely. You gotta learn how to heat it up the rod and pull it from one place and continue heating so that you can melt some more of it or pull it off consistently all the time. That's the fun part. Now, if you did this, come to think of it, I'm going to, because it looks really good, and I'm going to pull it off right about there, because I like what it's looking like. Pull that off right there. Come on, off, off, off. Okay. Drop that down. Now, what I'm going to do is I like the way that the wigwag pattern is going on here, and I am going to make this into a marble, or several, well, yeah, into a small marble or two, because I like the depth of the wave and the pattern that is going on inside the. And don't be afraid when you're working along and you see something that you like and you have an idea, and if you have the time, and or I know that there's time that you'll be working along and you have a
Teresa Hamilton.
Jellyfish. Jellyfish I can do too, but I'll do the octopus first, since that was the first choice we made. But yeah, if you have the time and you don't have a deadline to meet, and you got a little bit of time to play around, it is worth playing with. Do it, because sometimes when lightning strikes your imagination, it's good to tap into that lightning strike, because if you just ignore it, the next lightning strike might hit as hard. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true sometimes. What I'm doing is just sort of making the wigwag pattern a little bit more interesting. Uh-oh, sneeze coming on. I hate those. And I hate them when they don't even come out. Yeah. Okay, marble mold. Need to add a little bit more clear glass over all of that, because I can. There we go. Let it round in. Swirl it around. I think this is going to make that size marble, whatever size marble that is. Probably close to an inch. Might have to add a little bit more clear. Cold steel. Now I'm going to pull this, pop it. I haven't been able to with some other torches, but the Carlisle, because of the single flame in the middle, it gives you a little bit more control to pop those. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit more clear to the top of this one, because of the bright, right at the very top, it's a little bit brighter, so more of the colors are right at the surface, so to give it some depth. Give it some depth. Talk about lightning striking. I'm not trying to put off the octopus, but this marble is calling for me to do a little bit of play around with it. Oh, itch! We're good. Not a bad itch. Spinning that around. Letting it smooth out really, really nice. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can do what I think I'm going to do. It might turn out crazy, it might not turn out, but we'll try it. Just going to add some layers and maybe even some air bubbles in there by just inserting heat and inserting a stainless steel, one of those surgical spike tips there going on. Right there. And right here. I'll leave that. Now just add, now to give, see I've made little holes. And now to make them into air bubbles, you just layer clear glass over it. Like so. With this, I think I better turn on the oven. I haven't done that yet, but that's a good idea when you got an experimental marble, and marbles really do need the extra TLC. Sorry about that, guys. Let's kick that on. Now, if I layered those on just right, each place that I put that bump, there will be a bubble as well. It's not going to be a big one, but it will show up on the finished product. Just so some bubbles all the way around, like they're denting into the marble itself. Yeah, they're looking good. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to. I was listening. And again, when you get inspiration sometimes and you don't really have, sometimes good to play sideways. I wouldn't say sideways, but sometimes good to play and come up with new ideas that you didn't have 5 minutes ago. That's a good thing. It truly is. And after I get these bubbles in here quite nicely, and there's a couple of them that really turned out good, and some of them that went, but they're still coming through. It's just a matter of melting more of the glass around it. Oh yeah. Add depth to each one of those as well. Let's go ahead and do a cold seal here at the top, and then after I get into this, I'll go right into the octopi. Why oh why would I do an octopi when I've done so many before? The legs are long, the dots are mini, the eyes on the head to and fro. We'll see. So I couldn't remember a good poem, right? I couldn't make up a good poem. I had to consider trying to make my own. Yeah, we're getting there. It's working. Uh, there we go. Had to start the oven. I have a gin kiln. I got a good deal on it. Well, I wasn't happy at one point where I didn't even have it for a year and I wasn't using it full time, and a relay switch went in it, which I had to completely replace. Oh yeah, that's looking good. You won't be able to see this one until tomorrow, guys. I might be able to let it cool down somewhat before, but it's still got some of the air bubbles that really have to work their way out or they could stress out the marble. Let me see. Making it round is half the fun. Making sure the bubbles inside are round is another part of the fun. And yes, you can put bubbles in the marbles. That's what I've done a lot of times. One of my very favorite ones is what I call Lady Dancing in a Ring of Bubbles. I will put down below in the comment the URL to my favorite marbles, which I did a quick video on here. It had to be a year or so ago, and it was just my favorite marbles. And one of them was Lady Dancing in a Ring of Bubbles. Another one I did looked like an earth, and there were several, even a very, very big one that I have to this day. It had North Star Jade in it, and it was when it was still North Star Jade was an experimental stage, and it had checking problems, to say the least. You could make it look really, really nice, put it in the oven, and then let it heat and cool down, and as it cooled down, it made little chinky cracks throughout where the jade was. They fixed it since then. That was back in the 90s, I would have to say, so nothing majorly terrible, if and you know what I mean. Boy, nobody's saying a word out there. Got 6 people watching. It could save a few conversations, but I don't know if you can see this or not yet. It's too glowing at the moment. I will tap it off where I got, but you can see the little bubbles that I made. And just the swirls inside the marble are just of the blue. And as you can see, it's going to have colors like this in it throughout it. The blues and the white swirls and stuff. Matter of fact, this is from the same piece of glass that I was working with, so you can see that that's probably some of the colors that this one is going to turn out to be. So that was an experiment that I had to do because it was like, hey, you're here, it's looking good, get it done. And you had an idea. Go with it.
Lauren Reese said, "Howdy Lou."
Hello, Lauren.
Teresa Hamilton said, "Just enjoying your work."
I know it's mind blowing, I guess you could say, or you're just sort of so. I know what it's like, but yeah, you can see the bubbles in there, the color swirls. That's going to be an interesting marble, to say the least. I'm going to do a cold seal here, tap it off there, and I think I'm going to call that quits. on this marble. And put it in the oven ASAP. Right. There we go. Fire polish. What I mean by fire polish is you can look at the studio light above, and you'll see if it's got some bumps and ripples in it. And if it does, then you have to heat it up just a little bit more in that general area.
Sit. Very nice.
Oops. Lost my seal on that. That's okay. You know, I'm going to call that. Tap that off and fire polish it anyway. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be round and roll. Wanted a perfect marble. That's what contemporary is all about. Adding your own little mistakes to make it pretty. Well, they're not really mistakes, but you know what I mean. Okay. That one's in there. On to an octopus. And since I made this blue, let's make a blue octopus. Why not? Right. To bring it down just slightly here. Hold it. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. A little bit closer view. Oops. Now it's getting the glass adjusted, right? I mean the camera. In the next couple of days, I'm going to see about getting some new crap. Oh, it's going to do this. Now, I shouldn't have touched it. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. Let's see if it's going to stay this. No, it's still moving around. It is just a-moving like it was, like it can. Oh, that's not going to help. There we go. Hopefully that'll stay. And I'll tilt this up a little bit more. There you go. Summer is going to be a hot one.
Sit. Good evening.
Good evening, Lee. Nice to see a few new names. And you probably have come before, but I am looking forward to every person that comes through and says hi. That's part of, I love the audience. I really do. It's part of my charm. Okay. It's not going to be a very big octopus, but that is the size of the head of the octopus right there. You can tell that, right? Right. Now, let's make the leg. You can make the leg several ways. Cold steel.
Spence. Sit. Thumbs up light skin tone.
It's fun trying to put all 8 legs on there. And I'm not going to say that it's easy. You just got to make sure you put 4 on one side and 4 on the other side. And one way you can do that is sort of just do 4 bumps and not do the whole leg so that you don't get too crowded when you're getting around there. And then come back and do the whole leg. Another way is you can flatten out a Maria and use... matter of fact, I'll do that to the other side. On second thought, no, I'm just going to keep going with what I'm doing. It's doing good. And again, I'll make all of these legs longer. Or it could be a squiddy type little thingy, but we'll do with it. And that's 4 on that side. Now 4 on the other. Those last two are going to be fun, it looks like, but we'll get there. I made these legs a little longer than the other ones, but that's okay. Oh yeah, there's room for one more. It's always making room for all of the legs. Unless you want to make one that is like a 7-legged octopus. You can probably get away with it unless somebody goes, wait a minute. Back and forth sometimes instead of twirling it all the way around. But I do heat up the whole rod. It is important to make sure that you're working with, that you know how to work a 3-dimensional object, as it were. Need to straighten that out a little bit so I can do the other eyebrow and do an eye. Might have an eye. There we go. Probably should have put it more to the back of the head, but that'll be okay. Where I put these eyes. One round blob. I got stuck to this leg. That's not fair. Oh, that's terrible. Oh man. Just wrong. Sometimes. So right now I've got this strip that I have to get rid of. There is a way. I tell people where there's a will, there's a way. I also tell people where there's a will, there's relatives. Think about it, people. Think about it. Yes, you will have problems sometimes. And of course it melted right onto something it didn't need to melt onto, but that's okay. Where am I looking for? And a pair of tweezers might help. Let's see. I guess bring that whole eye off if necessary. Nope, that's not gonna come off. Pull that whole thing out of there. Okay. I think I saved it. Now I got to put the eyebrow back. Yeah, put a little bit more to the back side instead of the front. That'll work. There we go. See if I can do just dotting the eye this time instead of layering it in there. There we go. What I wanted to do the last time. Why didn't you help? Because sometimes you have to screw up and fix it. So you get better at what you do. Don't get frustrated. Just take a deep breath and keep going. Two eyes. Now let's continue with the legs. Yeah, I need to warm that all back up again because I have been playing. Two legs to go. Whew. Don't get frustrated when you have a problem. Take a deep breath and solve it. When it comes to glass, don't fight it. Work with it if you can. And sometimes something like that just happened, it could have been what I call a serendipitous moment where something else happened and you said, hey, that turned out really good. Or, hey, I was able to save it just right that way. So it does, don't look at it like the world is coming to an end. Do it like, hey, there's always a solution. You just got to find it. One of the things I tell people about my name. Think of the solution, leave off the SO, and you got me. Yeah, some of these aren't the prettiest little figurines, but I've got to get back to doing that. Yeah, and they do, and these are better than some, but there's some that even tons better than what I could ever think about doing out there. Even done by some of you guys, so don't. I know. I'm not perfect. It's picking up and working with your mistakes that makes you better. Now, I have in my possession one octopus. And now I'm going to heat up the legs and play around with them a little bit, but actually it looks pretty good the way it is. It's just a matter of heating them all up and letting them sit flat. Again, it's not perfect, and each one is done up like, individual. That's what they do. They play around. I'm going to flatten it out just slightly here. Oops. Not a major oops. I was tilting the head and I realized I tilted it just a little bit in the wrong direction. Let's see if I can fix that. There we go. There we go. Tilted it right. Get this one out of the middle of its front of its eyes. Well, not the front, but near his eyes. Tap him off. Fire polish. And throw that in the oven. Okay. There we go. For a small nominal fee of $25 plus shipping, that could be yours. If you're interested, you can email me or message me or whatever, but no obligation. You do not have to buy it. That's the way I work my deal. Okay, jellyfish. Any requests on color? I can do blues, I've got greens, I've got reds, I've got yellows. It's just a matter of doing it. First thing on the jellyfish. And I'll do this from scratch. It'll take about 15-20 minutes the way I'm going to do this. But it will become apparent with what you got to do in the long run. First, you encase. And this is going to be the tentacles of your jellyfish. And I only think I need about what I'm doing to do all the tentacles and then some.
Teresa Ham.
Might not even have to use all of that. Already getting long and thick from what I'm doing. But this is encasing a color, and this is encasing one color in the middle, and this middle will become the tentacles for the jellyfish. Okay? It is a, again, I've heated it up, and you can now stretch that out, and then layer some more clear over that. And it's getting thinner, but having that clear around it will also come into play later. It's kind of hard to explain, but it does make a difference in the long run to have that clear encased, that color encased in all that clear. I'm going to layer that whole thing one more time, and then we're going to start making a jellyfish here. And I'm going to layer it as thick and as big as I can all the way down. And this is going to be a nice thin color rod in the middle of all this clear. Now, another thing you can do with encasing like this is make mushrooms. And I will try to put down below in the comments section, not the comment section, but down below in the information section, me making a balloon shroom with the same type of stem, but a little bit thicker. Okay? Just layer all of that clear over this. And this tentacle is still going to be a little thick, but it still do the job. And for the top of the jellyfish, I might as well, no, let's use a different color. Get a nice bright color. And as I'm layering this clear on here, I am turning that rod. You can't see it, but I am turning that rod a little bit as I do this. Now I'm going to stretch this out into what I'm looking for. And that is, I would have to say, down here at the very bottom, well, let me get there and I'll show you. I could have probably worked with about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of glass to start with. I started with 1 inch. And as you can see now, I've got that rod, or that color rod, in the middle of this clear encasement all the way around. And you can see how long it is. And I'm getting down to the bottom of where I continued encasing, but down here near the bottom, right here is where I stopped encasing at one point. Okay, and down below that you can see even more encasing going on, those little nubs, and that's where I started the encasing going on. Way, but it's a lot thicker than what you really need. So I'm going to go ahead and set that down for right now, and hopefully that'll cool down by the time I need it. Let's see here. Oh man, got an itch in the middle of my back this time. Ah, there. Oh yeah. Ah. There we go. Now let's nip that off. And we'll get back to that very, very shortly. Now, jellyfish. Okay. What color could I make the jellyfish top? Oh, that's got sparkle and glitter in it. Oh, that would be cool. Wonder if that'll show up. Should have done that with the tentacles as well, but no. Here we go. Oh yeah. Let's see if we can make this turn into the top of the jellyfish.
Mistress Jordan Ray said, thumbs up.
Hi, Mistress. Glad that you showed up. Please, do click like, click subscribe if you have questions or if you have comments or if there's something in the future that you would like to see me do. Probably tomorrow. I had talked about it, and I think I will. I talked about showing off my oxygen concentrator setup and letting you guys see that. I'm going to add a little bit more to the top of this guy. Why? Because I can. He's got some swirl colors going on that I hope won't deter from the actual jellyfish thingy. There we go. Now this isn't going to be a perfect jellyfish. I'll tell you that right now. But it gets you in the right direction. Is that still warm? No, it's not. It's doing good. Actually, this side is. The other side is cool now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off that and use this since it's cool enough. These are the tentacles. You layer them and you can swirl them. And with that clear around it, it adds depth to it. I'm probably doing a little bit too much to the and you could do it layer right one on top of the other without them really tangling in and making like a big mess as well. Okay, I'm going to do about 2 or 3 more of these tentacles. They're working out really, really well. And again, because it's not connecting to any of the other ones and looking more streaky mess, I don't know if you can see that in there or not, but it's really swirling. No, you can't yet. There it goes. You can see some of the swirls a little better now. But you can see that those swirls are individual in there and not getting tangled in with another one. So you can keep adding as many as you wanted to. There we go. Now that by itself would be a pretty cool jellyfish. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of just letting that, put a loop on top of that and nip off at the bottom and fire polish that and call that a jellyfish pendant. Right now I've also got to round in the top of the jellyfish a little bit. Well, I can do that. Duh. Why didn't you think of that? Use a marble mold to make a nice round cone. Duh. I don't know where I could get one to do it with. I am sorry. Yeah, right. Duh. That turned out really, really nice. And you can't see it, but maybe you can on this. I'm turning that, and the top of the jellyfish, you see that sparkle and glitter going on? The top of the jellyfish is made with all that sparkle and glitter. So it will have that in the mix. high precision cutting instrument. Let's do a bail on the top of this. I think I like it just the way it is. It is going into the oven real quick though. Any other requests? If not, I'm going to call this a finished evening. Unless you can come up with something I can do about 3 or 4 minutes. Six people watching. Thank you for being there, guys. I do appreciate it. You do make the evening go by really, really quick, and you come up, help me get up. It's kind of hard to explain. I work better with people watching and thinking good thoughts in my direction than I do by myself. Yeah, I can get a lot done by myself, but it's almost I want to say a gestalt type situation. And I don't know if you ever heard of that word before or not, but basically more than what one person could do or more than the other person can do, but if they work together, they can create something that they couldn't even have begun to think about on their own. Let that heating around in a little bit. Get the outer ring going. That's looking good. Oh yeah, you can't see it. It's glowing like a son of a gun to you guys. But each one of those individual tentacles is swirling around in there. Looking really, really nice. I will, that's what I'll do. Do a quick Instagram video. And put that over there. Right? Right. Forgot to make the picture first. Camera. Why isn't it focusing? Oh, get all the crud out of the way. Still not focusing. There we go. Maybe with that. Jellyfish made on YouTube tonight. I'm still getting ugly, but okay as well. Tap that off. Put that in the oven. I think I got one good picture that I'll try to expand and put up there. There we go. Done. Like I say, I've got 6 people out here. It was good to have you all. And I do enjoy the crowd. Here's a neat little trick. You need to nip off something with the rod. You got a pair of wire cutters. It'll nip off right about that spot. Put that sparkly glittery back. That was I want to say a leprechaun and another satiny blue that North Star did that I put together to come up with that color, I believe. And that's the thing I like about encasing. You can always just layer 2 or 3 things together and you got something that is better than the sum of the parts as well. I got to admit. Any other really quick request? Otherwise, I am going to call this event. Oh yeah, here is the chameleon that I did yesterday. I think I showed it off yesterday as well. But I even made sure his eyes were going like, huh? In other words, one goes forward, one goes back. So that's my story there. I do appreciate you guys being out there. And as always, thank you. Carpe vitro. And enjoy your day. And if there's anything that you would like for me to do somewhere down the line, never hurts to ask.
Teresa
I might
Hamilton
say no and I might say yes.
said, awesome.
So, until later, carpe vitro, people.